Welcome to this completely unbiased and wildly chaotic video featuring Grand Theft Auto 5. The following content may include reckless driving, criminal behavior, bad decisions, loud explosions, and the destruction of criminal property. During these videos, I may also talk about pop culture, internet nonsense, celebrities, movies, games, and people in the chat. Any jokes, sarcasms, exaggerations, or insults directed at people, public figures, fictional characters, corporations, trends, or anything else are clearly comedic commentary and opinion, and are not statements of fact, nor representations of my real-life views or beliefs. This video is purely entertainment. Everything shown happens inside a video game where the laws of physics, morality, and traffic safety are optional. No real crimes were committed in the making of this video. No real people were harmed. No real allegations are being made about anyone living or dead. In fact, if it sounds ridiculous, then guess what? You guessed it. It probably is. If you are easily offended, allergic to sarcasm, or have a hard time placing your personal biases aside, feel free to leave now. Just being unbiased, y'all. Viewer discretion is advised.
I firmly believe that the reason why we're having such a hard time defining what a man and a woman is in this society is because of the inability for you all to grow up mentally, spiritually, emotionally, even financially in some cases. I don't know what your pockets are looking like, but damn it, get your savings in order. Y'all need to just grow up. The infantilization of society is what we're really struggling with right now, and it's happening for everyone. I'm noticing it happening more online with the women than it is with the men, but I can't stand when men do it. In real life, I'm noticing when you infantilize yourself, people look at you a certain way, and we have a place that we put people like that. It's nice places. We actually send them on vacations. These rooms are lovely. They're white, padded, and you get to wear your own jumpsuit. It's really cool. You get to hug yourself with the jumpsuit. Very, very cool environment if you're a type of person that wants to stay in a child's place, even though you're a grown-up. But online, I'm noticing the girlification of women. And that's why men on and offline are struggling to understand specifically what they're dealing with. Women infantilize themselves often, and they do it in several ways. They adopt these behaviors that invite others to treat them like children, and they do it through either language by calling themselves girls or girly. I'm a girl boss. I want to go on a girls trip. We need to have some girl talk. I want to eat a girl dinner. You've heard grown women say this. Girl dinner. I actually like some of the stuff that y'all be talking about. It's funny. It's hilarious, but it's all a ruse. It's a smoke and mirrors. They think it's cute to put on these helpless personas. They dress in these styles that emulate childhood and all of this innocent. All this behavior is because they've internalized a role in society that makes them believe that acting like a child absolves them of all accountability. It makes them less threatening. So when they say things like, I'm just a girl, I shouldn't do anything that requires legit adult responsibility, she's not playing. She's suffering from a form of arrested development. Anytime a grown woman calls herself a girl or refers to herself as a girly, I instantly cringe. And you should too. Whether you're a man, woman, or other, you should too. When an adult infantilizes themselves in real time and think there's nothing wrong with that. Especially when they do it linguistically. Words used to have meanings. So when you as an adult refer to yourself in a way that will make you seem prepubescent, I get concerned. Adult women that call themselves girls instead of women, it helps you understand that they're trying to undermine their perceived competence. Yeah, they want to seem like they can't handle the pressures that come along with adulthood. And they use that to almost take no accountability at all. They use high-pitched voices and baby talk, and they even exaggerate certain things to make themselves seem more childlike. This is a real phenomenon. Y'all see it. Even the ones that use the little crab fingers. Y'all know the women I'm speaking on. Don't make me have to go in my bag. It's annoying. They perform this helplessness to seem like they're less capable or less knowledgeable. That's why they say, I'm just a girl. I don't know. Like, they're utilizing a very, very deep, manipulative, dark skill, and it's called weaponized incompetence. Men, we do it too. I'm noticing women do it more, especially with men that don't hold them accountable for it. Yeah, they weaponize their incompetence, meaning this is something that she can do as an adult. She can fully do it, but guess what? Since she can just be a girl and be dainty because she thinks it's cute, She can outsource it to somebody else who may deem that skill more masculine. Now, there are certain things that may be more taxing physically that somebody that has the physical attributes to take care of that should definitely be into doing. Like, for example, lifting heavy things, opening pickle jars, taking out the trash if it's too heavy, stuff like that. Somebody more masculine in their role in your relationship should definitely want to do that and should do it with no complaints because, hey, you are built to withstand certain things like that. But when they do certain things like, oh, I'm just a girl, I shouldn't have to go get maintenance on my car, or, oh, I'm just a girl, I shouldn't have to plan and pay for dates, and, oh, I'm just a girl, I shouldn't have to actually show any level of human generosity to the person that I'm supposed to be in a relationship with. That shit is toxic. That shit ain't cute. It's not innocent. You're actually making the person that you're doing that to a victim of your incompetence. They adopt these fashion and makeup trends too that are just, and I know the makeup on the person you're looking at right now ain't the best, but oh my goodness, and let me get up out this bed and start doing stuff. But they adopt these trends through makeup and fashion that also make them seem more childlike. Bubble skirts used to be specifically for the tennis court and younger little girls. Y'all see grown women in a certain community utilizing the fuck out of them now. Despicable. Even when it comes down to the way they do their hair. I'm seeing barrettes and bobos in people's hairs that are supposed to be adults. You're supposed to be an adult. There's women that are grown-ups gluing down their edges to make baby hairs. Baby hairs on a grown-up. Nothing wrong with participating in the latest fashion and trends. But when they infantilize you, you should opt out as an adult. Let the kids have that. Let the kids have that. And I'm going to make a video in the future to actually talk about when men and women reach certain stages. When men and women meet certain stages, not just in society, but biologically. Because in order to become a man or a woman, you first have to be a boy or a girl. And in order to become a boy or a girl, you first got to be male or female. There are other mutations. We'll get into those mutations too. But overall, the spectrum has always leaned to one or the other. Now, I'm going to talk about some things like how long you was cooking in the womb, because I think that affects certain things. I believe that certain people think and operate the way they are based on how long they were cooking. It's kind of like you got all the ingredients for a cake, right? You got to make sure you have the proper bake time, and you got to make sure you bake it at the proper temperature. If you bake something at the proper bake time, but you don't bake it at the proper temperature, you're going to get a different product. Simple as that. Simple as that. You can have the proper ingredients. You can have the best chefs in the kitchen. You could be one of the greatest kitchens and staffs in the world. But if that bake time and the bake temperature, and even to certain extents, you gotta have the right oven. You know what I'm talking about that? You gotta have the right oven. If that ain't all together, you can get a different product. It's gonna come out looking like a cake, but it ain't the right cake. It's gonna come out looking like the right thing, but it may not have everything you need to say that it's gonna be a delicious meal. But more on that later. Back to the girlification of women, because that's why we're here today. And I realize as a man, y'all gonna say I shouldn't be speaking on this, but I like women, so of course I should be speaking about this. Now I'm out the game, so this is really for the youth that are coming to my channel and coming to these videos and getting gamed up while I'm playing the game. I ain't here to run your life. I'm just here to help you understand exactly what you're looking at when these people say and do certain things, because words have meaning. We all grow up eventually, but some people get older and never end up growing up. Ain't that the worst thing to deal with? People who in age and even in development with their body, they look like adults. But when it comes to their minds and even in the way that they speak about themselves and the things they identify with, they're still children. I realize that social media is playing a huge part in it too, because social media has made people more susceptible to doing things so they can go along to get along. Like if a bunch of people that you may perceive as popular are utilizing this type of lingo and language, you're going to be less likely to shame it because you don't want to go against the grain. But I told y'all we unbiased on this channel. So guess what? Men, women, and others that are listening to the sound of my voice, you can never say you didn't hear this, and now you are accountable for the knowledge. There, yes, I'm putting it on you. Yes, now you're accountable for the things that I've told you. Man, I'm accountable for fucking that up. But yeah, like now you got to actually understand what these people are saying, even though they may not even realize what they're saying. There's some people that are out here showing their hand in real time, and they're not wise enough to realize what they're doing and what they're saying when they're calling themselves, as a grown adult, a girl boss. When you say you want to go on a girls trip with a bunch of women, what that sounds like to adults. We like, hold on now. I realize you want to make it dainty, but just be dainty. Being dainty don't mean that you're literally a child. Defining things the way y'all define them is what's causing people not to understand what a man or a woman is in this society. You realize that, right? You're sexualizing grown women on and offline, right? And then you're coming online and saying that you're just a girl. Putting songs like I'm just a girl and under woman type things that you're doing is harmful. It's harmful. Because then how do we know when a girl becomes a woman? If we have fully developed women calling themselves girl, identifying with girly things, it's hurting people in real time. A lot of these men and others don't have the time to work out your shit. They got to work out their own shit. So when I'm telling you this stuff is harmful, I'm not saying this because I'm hating on you. I'm not saying this because I don't want you to have a good time. I'm just telling you to grow up so other people around you can grow up and assume their positions. When you try to girlify yourself, I realize the position and role you're trying to take, and this ain't the way to do it. I realize that when you girlify yourself, you're actively trying to position yourself as dependent, as needing protection from the big bad world and all the big bad men and the big bad others that are just going to take advantage of a grown girly like woman like yourself. You think it's cute to be a mature adult, quote unquote, and take on these caricatures of children. You're trying to lack not only accountability, because we all know it takes a certain level of skill for anybody, whether you're a man, woman, or other, even a child, to take accountability for something you may or may not have done. But what you're attempting to do is show that you lack authority. You realize that, right? And not only do you lack authority, not only in your personal life, but in your decision making. I said this in a recent video. These social constructs are literally destroying our society. Gender roles are literally destroying dating. Because you're just a girl, you can't be bothered to plan and pay for a date. Because you're just a girl, you want a real man. Huh? And men realize when they girlify themselves and make it seem like they need this type of a submissive role in your society, you realize what they're trying to do. They don't need a man. They need a father. Because they're just a girl. And little girls need their father. So you, as a man, should not be entertaining girlies in any shape, form, or fashion, even if they are adults. You need to actually stay away from girlies as a grown man. But I'm realizing a lot of y'all are arrested in your development as well. And you go along to get along because you just want to be with a woman. But realize that every female is not a woman. And every man is not a male. These are social constructs that y'all been playing with for far too long. When somebody actually comes around and tells you to identify it, to actually explain to me why you do what you do outside of just society says to do it, you fall short every single time. Want to know why? Because it doesn't make any natural sense. When you say that somebody has to plan and pay for a date based on their gender, you're already operating in a social construct that is going to be the downfall of your love. Why? Because reciprocity doesn't have a gender. So if you're over here concerned about whether or not you quote unquote doing too much because you want to show somebody how much you care about them, you're losing. I can't show him how much because that's not what the girls would. What would the girls think? Listen to how you refer to your friend groups. Oh man, the boys, man. What about the boys? The boys ain't gonna like that. The boys? You mean the childish thinkers that you revolve around? Those people? They're not gonna like something that a differentiated adult would do? Assess your friend circle. Assess your language. Watch how you're defining stuff. I don't think y'all really watching how y'all, these words used to have meanings. And when you say them over and over, you're spelling. Spelling. I'm gonna start taking things back to the root. I realize that in school, they're not teaching these kids phonetics anymore. They're actually teaching them 3Qing, which is hella dangerous. But yeah, I realize that they ain't teaching the kids how they should anymore. We gonna rectify that in real time. Cause I don't know, listen, I don't know what the future holds for humanity at large, but I do know we can start by helping develop better ways of expressing ourselves, and it ain't by infantilizing ourselves and taking on roles that are not naturally what we're seeing. Now let me lock in real quick and I'll get back to my point. Y'all see the screen over and over, so y'all know what I'm doing. There we go. We in this thing. We in this thing. We about to go. So y'all, I probably didn't get a peek at the screen before I started, but when we get down here, y'all gonna see what type of video we having. It's the tequila. So I've been freestyling this entire video. Just freestyling. I did a little research on this before I started, but I'm freestyling some of the research I'm done because I also realized that y'all don't need me to just be talking just to talk. Y'all actually need this shit to be supported by facts so you can fact check me in real time. Go ahead, type in your Googles and do your research on girlification, infantilization. Who's doing it often? Even use your own common sense. Scroll online. Listen to what people are saying, especially the adults. We've all heard of these grown women calling themselves girl bosses. We all know a quote unquote gym girly or a food girly. We all hear them talking about being girls. This is not terminology that should be foreign to you anymore as an adult. Realize what we're dealing with. We all went to school at some point in time, and we all had different classes and electives that we selected. There were some people that went to the lab that were a little bit less developed than others, that were delayed in the way that they developed. Nothing wrong with that, but they need help, and there's special places where they can learn, but they didn't always commingle with us. Now we on this internet, and these people are on here with us, and they're making things trendy and making things viral that are detrimental to our development psychologically. Infantilizing yourselves? You're a grown woman. You're a grown man. Why are you calling yourself the boy? You're a grown woman. Why are you calling yourself a girl's boss? And I told y'all that's not. I know we're on the island, and y'all are hearing sirens. I live in the hood. So y'all gonna hear that from time to time. Damn. But yeah, if you're a fully developed adult biologically, there's no reason in the world why you should continue to infantilize yourself. Even with your nicknames and the way that you speak. Language matters. Girlifying yourself as a grown woman is sickening. Especially when you say you want a real man. These fashion trends, the makeup, the way y'all are doing certain things, it's all deceptive in its nature. You want to know why we're having a hard time defining what a man and a woman is? Because of girl bosses. Because of grown men calling themselves the boys. Because of grown women going on girls' trips. Nothing wrong with going on trips. I'm not hating on the trip. Stop calling it a girls' trip. That's sick. That's wicked. I know you want to assume a submissive role so you can avoid accountability on certain things, because it's hard being an adult, and it's hard being able to be accountable for some things you may or may not have done that are productive. But I'm telling you, on the other side of this girlification, on the other side of all of this, you got to make sure that you're being healthy in the way that you're approaching and speaking to one another. Okay? So if I sound like the type of person that's not tolerant, I am. Because I don't get on everybody's ass when I hear them infantilize themselves. But what I do is I make sure the people around me ain't doing it. All right. So make sure that if you are around people that are doing that, make sure they start using an adult vocabulary. Replace girl with woman when you're referring to yourself. That's important. Tell them to stop over apologizing. Don't start any of your sentences with me. I'm sorry. I got to tell you, you can't talk like that. No, don't apologize. Use direct statements. And let them know, hey, you're talking to an adult. I don't want to be talking to a girly. If you're a grown man that's in the gym, don't be working out with these girlies. Clarify what you're capable of doing. And clarify what your role is in this. Hell, man. I'm not the type of person that would overly do something. And I'm not the type of person that's going to claim that I am something when I'm not. But there's a lot of people that assume these roles in order to avoid what they inevitably are. Okay, so when you girlify yourself as a 50-year-old, think about what you're doing. You're not a child. Be vocal and make sure that your voice is heard. Make sure you make direct eye contact with these people. Make sure you stand up straight with your chest out, your shoulders back, and your head directly at them when you tell them, I'm an adult and I need you to speak to me like that. And you ain't got to handle them with a professional mindset, because you may be in casual areas when you're dealing with these people. So you ain't got to be professional when you're trying to be casual with folks. But what I will tell you is you ain't got to tolerate the childish shit. And when you stand up for adult things more often, you build that muscle that allows you to be able to be strong. And your mind is a muscle. So you need to build that courageous muscle that you've been allowing to just decay the more you tolerate childish stuff around you. Be happy that you're older. You don't get to be a fucking old person by being no fool. So be happy that you're an adult. You should be seeking accountability, not running from it. Share your goals. Trust the people that you trust. Find you a mentor. Find somebody that can help you feel like you are actually being a functioning adult. The last thing you want to do is deal with people that once they realize that they can't deal with being an adult, they revert to being a damn child. Set boundaries. Correct them if you have to. If they can't get their minds right, let go and let God. Peace.